Hi, my name is Jim. I'm an actor. Um, this is my dilemma. It starts off simple, but it gets complicated. And you'll notice throughout this video that I'm speaking really slowly because although it starts off really simple, it gets complicated. The information begins to double every couple of minutes. So my name is Jim, and I like to tell stories. I like to tell a lot of stories. And not only is it a part of my personality, but in telling stories, in that act of narration, I come into my own personality. I kind of find myself in that act of storytelling, or realize myself in the act of narration. Okay. And that's not even really a new concept. Roland Barthes, the culture critic or art critic, literary critic, observed that the writer writing the text also kind of finds his own voice, or finds his own personality. So what you get is this kind of Escher drawing, right? You know, the two hands drawing each other. The writer writing the story, and the story in some ways writing the author. Okay. So it starts off simple enough. But again, you'll notice that I'm speaking very slowly. In telling a story, I reach the very center of my personality. So that's simple enough. But then I also like to tell other people's stories. I mean, I listen to a lot of other people's stories, and I kind of collect them and keep them in little glass jars on a shelf, like butterflies. I like to listen to other people's stories, and sometimes when I hear one that I really like, I will take it in and I'll think about it, and I'll kind of tinker with it a little bit. You know, I'll put it into my own words, and I'll put it into the first person sometimes. So I think you're beginning to see the dilemma here. I come into my own personality by telling stories, but I also like to tell a lot of other people's stories. And so it gets a little bit complicated. I mean, if I'm telling somebody else's story in the first person, am I getting closer to my personality or getting further away from it? I spend a lot of time in front of a camera. And while I'm in front of the camera, my consciousness is split. I'm divided. There's what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, but I'm also very aware of what the camera is seeing and what the camera is experiencing. So I've got this double consciousness. And that's while I'm in front of the camera. And then after I'm in front of the camera, I'll usually have to edit whatever it is that I just shot. Which means that I'm spending time in the editing room, logging all that footage, and watching myself on the screen. And I'm a very impressionable person. So if I'm watching myself on the screen, after a while I usually begin to take on my own characteristics. I begin to mimic my speech patterns, my mannerisms. I begin to take on my hand gestures, especially. So while I'm watching myself in front of on a screen, I'm kind of coming into my own personality. And that's the case with anything that I do in front of the camera. Even if I'm telling somebody else's story.